Yeah, I think the interesting thing here is that there's so many different platforms that you can try. So if you feel uncomfortable about being on Twitter, for example, where you might feel that you've got to be really promotional or something like that, what you could do instead is have go on Instagram, for example, and as you're researching the book, you could travel around the country, go into the, say if it's a book to do with history, you're visiting all these different sites. Can you take photos as you go along? So to you, it won't feel like you're doing traditional marketing, but you're still giving these little teasers, little hints about what would be in the book. Or you could write a blog, and then you're a bit more in control. It could be just a piece that goes out once a month, where you're talking about, your writing process, maybe other books that you love yourself. So you don't have to feel that you've got to be very salesy and promotional and make it about marketing. It's more about showing your passion for writing and for this particular topic. And also kind of teasing at what might be to come, to keep people engaged and keep them looking forward to your next move.
And Ashley, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't really consider social your traditional selling tool anyway, so just self-promotion in its own right and you constantly flogging your wares, so to speak, you constantly going on about your book and selling your book is not really going to be making the most of the opportunity that social affords you. It's very much about awareness. It's about raising the profile of you as the author, not about a specific book that you're going to create. And that's really where the sort of social comes into its own. I mean, it's very much a brand or a persona awareness tool. And with that in mind, you're very much on the level of your audience, so you can talk to them on a much flatter scale, so you're talking on very much the same level that they are, and you're getting their interaction straight away. So I don't think you should be looking to shy away from social if you're just a little bit timid in terms of promoting your book, because yeah, that's not really what we'd consider it used for anyway. And yeah, I think it's a great way to promote what you do. So if you do write blogs, as Sue mentions, if you do write articles that you then host on your website, you can share them. I mean, they're informative, they're written for a reason. So I wouldn't be too concerned if you're a little bit more wary about actual sort of sales side of things, because really that's a very small point in the big social media spectrum, really.
I'm actually thinking about sales. I always like to think of it as you're watching a series on TV, and I can't imagine that there's many people who jump with joy when the adverts come on if they're really engrossed in a program. I know I certainly don't subscribe to social media channels for adverts. I'm there for whatever the topic is that I'm interested in. So making sure that there's probably a minority of kind of sales pitch or adverts in there is probably the healthiest way to go, because people are interested in a topic and they will follow you for a topic or a number of topics. And occasional adverts people are more forgiving with.
Yeah, absolutely. I think on that sort of subject, I mean, when we deal with, if we look at this from a more corporate perspective and we're dealing with sort of big brands, then even at that sort of level, we're still trying to be very relatable. We're trying to think of subjects within any given industry that people are going to be happy to talk about and engage with. I mean, if we're constantly just promoting ourselves and the products that we may be providing and what we're selling, then we're just going to get a rapid rate of unfollowers. I mean, we're not going to engage more people. If anything, we're certainly going to be alienating them. So it's definitely trying to keep that sort of activity to a relative minimum. Yeah, it's all about engaging content that you can create, whether that be a quick tweet or whether that be a picture if you're using Instagram, or whether it's a video that you upload to Facebook. I mean, in terms of actual commercial gain and you transferring that into a quick sale, that's very much a short-term and quite a blinkered view. You need to be looking long-term for social and grow your audience, and with that then you can look to generate conversions, and it will come naturally. If you're doing a really good job of social and you're engaging with your audience and they're interested in what you've got to say, then why wouldn't they buy your book? I mean, that's sort of the long and short of it. It's very much a long-term activity.
Yeah, as Ashley says, I always see it as, I think the key word there is natural. It's an extension of the human relationships that you have in the offline world. So I always see it a bit like, say, if you go to a party and you get stuck in the kitchen with some bore that's just banging on about himself all the time and doesn't ask you anything about you or show any interest in what you've got to say. And then the next time you go to a similar party, you see that guy again, and you just make a beeline in the other direction. And it's very much like that in social media. You know, don't feel that you've got to talk about you, your book, and be putting these marketing messages up all the time. You know, relax into it and just have human, genuine conversations, and then the benefits come long term. You know, don't expect things to happen overnight. Work on generating these long-term relationships.
Definitely, no, I completely agree. I actually, from the point of view of having worked on Author Hub, yes, we're encouraging authors to use social media, but we certainly don't want to get them to use it as a tool for basically having a sales pitch. That's not really going to engage with anyone. And actually the whole point of using social media, as you've said, is really about raising your awareness and engaging with readers and making yourself more discoverable. So adding links left, right and centre saying buy my book isn't really what it's all about. And actually this question came up on our LinkedIn group quite recently, and an author answered this question much more eloquently than I ever could. So I just wanted to read to you what he added and just to see what you guys thought. I think it really helps to sum up what you've said. So he said, the point about using social media is that it gets you out there, it maintains your public profile and lets you engage with other people interested in similar things to you. And if you manage to sell some books as a result, that's a bonus. And I think really that helps to reiterate the point that using social media is not about having a sales pitch, and it's about engaging with readers, making yourself more discoverable. And one of the very natural and good side effects of that is that hopefully that will also see an increase in sales.